Welcome back to Inside Politics. Today, George Santos became the sixth person ever to be expelled from Congress. 105 Republicans voted to kick him out of the chamber, and one of those Republicans, Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado, is here with me now. Let's start with the argument against it, and that we heard from other colleagues of yours, including Matt Gaetz, who said that this would be a bad precedent, that now is a bad precedent, because until today, the only members of Congress who were expelled were actually convicted of a crime, which George Santos is not, or participated in the Civil War.
Yeah, well, George Santos did a lot of things that were illegal, and he will face that jury at some point in time, but he did face the Ethics Committee. He was given due process, and he didn't take advantage of it. He stalled. He did his very best not to provide information and provided answers that were vague and weren't helpful to his own defense. And so I believe he had the due process. I didn't vote last time to expel him. This time I did vote to expel him because I think that he had due process, didn't take advantage of it, and at some point we can't wait on the criminal justice system. When you have a 2-year term, and he was indicted months ago and won't face trial on those criminal charges until sometime in the middle of next year, Congress just can't wait that long to make a decision.
The House Speaker, Mike Johnson, voted, which is unusual for a speaker to vote, but he voted against expulsion. What does it say about the fact that he did so and his conference didn't follow?
Well, I think obviously Mike is concerned about a 5-vote majority becoming a 4-vote majority, and we have a member who's going to become president of a university and leave, and we have other members who are talking about leaving. And so,
does this speak to his lack of influence?
I don't think it does. I think he made a decision on what he thought was best for the party and the majority. I don't think he made a decision that others agreed with in terms of the integrity of the institution.
I want to ask you about something else that's in the news, and that is the book that's coming out next week by your former colleague, Liz Cheney. You worked for her father, Dick Cheney, and she writes in her new book about Republicans who were signing on to the electoral vote objections. And she recounted your colleague Mark Green of Tennessee saying, quote, "As he moved down the line, signing his name to the pieces of paper, Green said sheepishly to no one in particular, 'The things we do for the orange Jesus.'" What do you make of that?
Well, she's bold for repeating something like that. I'm not sure that Mark really thought through what he was saying, but clearly Donald Trump exerted a lot of influence on a lot of people during the decision to certify or decertify the electors. And there were a lot of us that felt that by voting to certify the electors, we were putting ourselves at risk of a primary opponent that would be supported by President Trump. And I think he made that very well known to those who were making the decision.
Yeah, I mean, he, as you've said many times, he, the former president, now leader for the Republican nomination, still exerts a lot of influence over your party.
Right, and I think that's what Mark, while I think he probably regrets being quoted on the orange Jesus part, I think he was just acknowledging the fact that Donald Trump was powerful then and remains powerful.
Before I let you go, you are a former prosecutor, and you obviously are somebody who has reverence for the law and the courts. Can you give us a quick memory or sort of a statement on the legacy of Sandra Day O'Connor?
Yeah, I thought, one, she broke a barrier, obviously, and it was an important barrier to break, and I'm really proud that Republicans, and especially a conservative Republican like Ronald Reagan, was part of that breaking of that barrier, having a woman on the court. Two, I think she came to the court at a time when there was a large feminist movement on the left, and she really espoused conservative principles, small government principles that were important. And by elevating her to that position, I think it gave a lot of us the opportunity to say, these are compassionate and important.
No, that's interesting. You can't sometimes don't think of it with so much history between then and now. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good to see you.